Hello everyone, I'm Cupcake with you again. We continue our training course on Adobe Illustrator, Quick Start. And in today's second lesson you will learn how to navigate the workspace, how to select objects plus how to move them, how to create objects, how to combine shapes. Let's start disassembling the Pathfinder panel, how to undo actions, how to change fill and stroke colors, how to change stroke thickness. So, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and let's go. So, I remind you that if you have launched Illustrator and you have another workspace open, then click on the one that we created with you in the last lesson. Next we'll talk about how to create basic primitives. For this you only need two tools. The first is a section with primitives, rectangles, ellipses, polygons, stars, straight lines. The second tool is a feather. Here it is higher. When you select the rectangle tool, for example, you start drawing. On the right there is a Properties panel. Open it and find the Design tab. There you will find two tabs, Fill and Stroke. When we click on the fill, we have a whole palette of colors prepared in Illustrator. You can select any one and the object will be colored inside. If you want to create your own color, there is a small new swatch icon. Click and a panel will open in which you can customize the colors you need. What is important to know is that by changing one color channel, you have access to other channels. There are also the letters RGB on top. You can enter the appropriate values and get the desired color. You can change the stroke options. Initially, it is there, but it is very narrow, 1 point. To expand, you need to change its values here. The stroke color can also be changed using the same principle as the fill. Now let's look at a very important point in the work, how to approach, move away, select and move objects. To move closer to or further away from an object, you hold down the Alt key and roll the mouse wheel back and forth. To move around the document up and down, left and right, you hold down the space bar and hold down the left mouse button and move around the screen. In order to see your project in full size, you need to press Ctrl 0. If you want to move the created object from point A to point B, then you press the V key and select the Move tool. Remember all the hotkeys, it's very convenient. There are only two arrows in Illustrator. Black and white. Black is responsible for scaling the object. To do this, you need to move the cursor over the corner and holding down the left mouse button, increase it. If I don't want to spoil the proportions of an object, then I hold down Shift, and while I hold it, I can change the size of the selected object. This principle can be applied when you draw regular shapes. Press the hotkey M, square, or L, ellipse, and while holding Shift, draw perfectly regular shapes. A useful life hack if you want to make rounded corners on your object. Select the object, there is a small gear here, holding down the left mouse button, you round its corners. If you want to change the shape of your rectangle, make it a trapezoid, for example. Press the A key, you select the white arrow, it helps you change the shape of objects using reference points. Now let's talk about what reference points are. Each object has points between which lines are drawn. These points are called reference points. If you click on an object with the white arrow, and if you click on its center, you can move it. But if you click on one of the dots that appears and hold it and drag it, the shape of the object will change. If you need to flip an object horizontally, then you need to select the object and click on the Flip Object Horizontally button. It's simple. But if you need to copy it first, then you need to press the V key, this is the black arrow, and while holding down the Alt key, move the object with the left mouse button, thereby it will be copied. Then you can mirror it. Vertical reflection is carried out in the same way. There are also alternative copying methods. You can press the key combination Ctrl-C, then Ctrl-V, and the object will be inserted, but it will be inserted in the center of the work area, which may not be convenient. In order for an object to be inserted into the place from which it was deleted, you need to select the object and press the Ctrl-F key combination. Now let's move on to the final, but very important issue, contour processing. This panel is what makes Illustrator insanely powerful. Let's analyze it partially for now. Let's look at the two functions that are used most often, and we'll learn the rest later. I press the L key, ellipse, and draw a perfect circle while holding Shift. I want to make a moon. With the black arrow tool selected, I need to make a copy of the object and move it to the right. I press Alt, with the tool selected there is a black arrow, and I move the object to the right. Now I need to cut out the top circle and what's underneath it. There is a special command for this, in the Properties Contour Processing tab. We added it in the last lesson. Once you have two objects selected, you can click on the second icon from the top called -top. When you click, the upper object is subtracted from the lower one. Ready? If you had the back object on top, then the opposite would happen. I'll tell you about these movements a little later. A very useful combination. Next, if you also need clouds on top of the moon, we take an ellipse and choose a blue color for it. Then I create a lot of circles, hold down Alt, and copy. I get this design. Let's say I want to combine all these objects into one holistic form. I select all the objects, but the moon came across. To remove it from the selection, we press and hold Shift and click on the moon image again. She removed herself from the discharge. If we want to add, hold down Shift and click on the object, Added. After we have selected the objects we need, we can combine them into a single whole. In the Pathfinder panel, click on the first button Combine and all selected objects are combined into one single path. That's all for me today. I hope you liked my video. If so, then like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next videos. I was with you, Cupcake, on the CGI Digital Art channel. Bye everyone.